Aaron Cole sat quietly in the small waiting room of the Alliance Embassy on Lyrith Prime, his fingers tapping nervously on the edge of the chair. He had been on many assignments before, some dangerous, some routine, but nothing like this. The message he had received just 2 hours earlier was brief and strange. Report to the embassy immediately. You have a new assignment that requires utmost discretion. He had expected a high-risk mission, perhaps a diplomatic escort or a military operation, but he had no idea what awaited him. The walls of the embassy were painted in soft shades of blue and silver, colors that shimmered faintly under the glow of the artificial lights. Aaron noticed the subtle hum of energy running through the floors, a quiet reminder that this was no ordinary building. Lyrith Prime was known as the home of the Lyrathi High Chancellor and his family. The Lyrathi were a proud, ancient alien race with advanced technology and complex politics. Aaron had read about them in military briefings. They were tall, elegant, with skin that glowed faintly in bioluminescent patterns. Their eyes reflected light in ways that humans could never fully understand, and they spoke in tones that could carry emotion as easily as words. Aaron's thoughts were interrupted when a soft chime echoed through the room. A door slid open silently and a tall, graceful Lyrathi attendant appeared. Her skin shimmered in a gentle pale green with shifting lines of light, tracing delicate patterns over her arms and neck. She gestured for Aaron to follow. "You are Lieutenant Aaron Cole?" she asked, her voice musical but formal. "Yes," he replied, standing immediately and straightening his uniform. Reporting as ordered, she nodded and led him down a long corridor lined with panels that displayed moving constellations. Aaron had to remind himself to breathe. This was not like any place he had been before. The building seemed alive, almost watching him. They arrived at a large chamber, open and airy, with 2 figures standing near the center. Aaron's first impression was one of awe. The figures were twin sisters, both striking in appearance, though their personalities radiated differently. They were Lyrathi princesses, daughters of the High Chancellor. The elder twin, Alira, stood with a calm, measured posture. Her skin was a soft lavender hue with intricate lines of bioluminescent light, tracing patterns along her arms and shoulders. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent, and there was a quiet authority in her gaze. Next to her, Kalira, the younger twin, moved with a restless energy. Her markings pulsed gently, showing curiosity and emotion, and her bright eyes seemed to look right through him. Aaron bowed slightly. "Lieutenant Aaron Cole, reporting for assignment." Alira stepped forward first. Her expression was composed, almost regal, but there was a hint of curiosity in her luminous eyes. "Lieutenant," she said in perfect English, which Aaron found surprising, "we have been expecting you. You have been assigned to protect us." Aaron blinked. "Protect you?" He tried to keep his voice steady, though a small part of him was both excited and nervous. Yes, of course. "I will do my duty to the fullest." Kalira smiled, a faint, mischievous curve of her lips. "We have heard many things about humans," she said. "Brave, reckless, quick. I wonder which one you are." Aaron gave a small, careful laugh. "I try to be careful," he said. "But sometimes bravery is necessary." The twins exchanged a glance, a silent conversation that Aaron could not understand. Then Alira turned back to him. "You will not only be our protector, but also our companion in many matters. The palace can be dangerous in ways outsiders do not understand. Court politics, hidden threats, and there are those who wish us harm." Aaron nodded. "I understand. My duty is to ensure your safety at all times." Kalira's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "At all times?" she repeated softly. "Even when we walk in the gardens alone? Even when the city is calm?" Aaron hesitated for a moment, then said firmly, "Yes, always. Your safety comes first." There was a faint smile on Kalira's lips, almost approving. Alira, however, was still calm and serious. "Good. We will test your abilities soon. There are routines, protocols, and training that you must understand. It is not enough to be strong. You must also think quickly and act with precision." Aaron felt a flicker of pride. "Understood, Princess. I am ready." For the next hour, the twins showed him around the palace. The architecture was unlike anything Aaron had seen. Towers of glass and metal rose high into the sky, their surfaces reflecting the twin suns of Lyrith Prime. Gardens floated in midair, held up by technology Aaron did not understand. Small creatures with translucent wings flitted among the flowers, glowing softly. The palace felt alive, almost breathing. As they walked, Aaron observed the way the twins moved. Alira's steps were measured, precise. She seemed aware of every detail around her, as if she could see every angle and threat at once. Kalira, on the other hand, moved with energy and curiosity, touching a glowing plant here, peering into the sky there. The younger twin laughed softly when a small hovering drone zoomed past her face, teasing it with a swift motion of her hand. Aaron couldn't help but be impressed. The sisters were not just royalty. They were intelligent, aware, and clearly trained in ways that made them more than just ceremonial figures. Their glow and elegance were mesmerizing, but there was a sharpness behind their eyes that warned him this assignment would not be simple. Alira finally stopped near a balcony that looked out over the city below. The twin suns were setting, painting the sky in shades of orange, pink, and purple. The city shimmered in response, a complex dance of lights and movement. "You will sleep in quarters nearby," Alira said quietly. "It is important to remain close at all times. Your skills will be tested in ways you cannot yet imagine." Aaron bowed again. "I understand, Princess. I will remain vigilant." Kalira stepped closer, her glowing markings dimming slightly as if she were trying to read his thoughts. "Lieutenant," she said softly, "do not be afraid of us. We are not like others. We do not trust easily, but we notice those who are worthy of our confidence." Aaron felt a small warmth in his chest at her words. "I will do my best to earn your trust," he said. Kalira smiled brightly, stepping back and spinning slightly, her hair and markings catching the light. "We will see," she said almost teasingly. That evening, after the tour, Aaron was led to his quarters. They were modest compared to the grand palace, but comfortable. He unpacked his minimal belongings, cleaned his weapons, and went over his notes about the Larathi and their security protocols. But sleep did not come easily. His mind kept returning to the twins. They were more than just beautiful aliens. There was intelligence, strength, and a hint of mystery in both of them. The next morning, Aaron was awakened by a soft chime, signaling the start of his first full day on duty. When he entered the twins' chambers, he found them already waiting, dressed in light training robes. Kalira was bouncing on the balls of her feet, eager, while Alira stood calm, observing him. "Today," Alira said, "you will begin training with us. It is not just combat you must learn, but how to read situations, how to anticipate danger, and how to protect two targets at once." Aaron nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. "I am ready," Kalira clapped her hands. "Good! Then let us see what humans are made of." The day passed in a blur of training. Aaron found that the twins were surprisingly skilled in both physical and mental exercises. They moved with grace, striking with precision and reacting faster than he expected. Kalira challenged him constantly, while Alira tested his decision-making and strategy. Every moment demanded focus and attention. By the end of the day, Aaron was exhausted, yet he felt a growing respect for the sisters. That night, after he had checked the palace perimeter and ensured all systems were secure, he returned to his quarters. He could not stop thinking about the twins. They were unlike any beings he had ever met. There was intelligence, strength, and vulnerability all at once. And there was a sense that his role as their protector would not only test his skills but also his character. As he finally drifted into a restless sleep, Aaron did not realize that the twins, watching from their balcony, were discussing him in quiet tones. "She seems cautious, as expected," Alira said softly, her eyes following the stars. "Not just cautious," Kalira replied, her markings pulsing softly. "He notices things, he adapts. He cares, perhaps. He might become more than just our guard." Aaron stirred in his sleep, unaware that his journey had only just begun. The assignment that seemed strange and daunting would soon change him in ways he could not yet imagine, and for the first time in his life he wondered if being in the presence of beings so unlike humans could teach him not just about them, but about himself. The twin suns of Lirith Prime rose again, casting a soft golden light over the palace. Aaron's first day as the human protector of the twin alien sisters was complete, but the story of trust, loyalty, and discovery had only just begun. Aaron woke early the next morning, the soft light of Lirith Prime's twin suns spilling into his quarters. His shoulder muscles ached from the first day of training with the twins, but the soreness was mixed with anticipation. Today would be his second full day with Princess Alira and Princess Kalira, and he knew that each day would bring new challenges. When he entered the main training chamber, he saw the twins already waiting, standing side by side. Alira's calm, observant eyes met his as if she were measuring his readiness. Kalira bounced on her feet, her excitement evident in the flickering glow of her markings. "Good morning, Lieutenant," Alira said, her voice quiet but steady. "Today you will begin understanding the palace and its surroundings more thoroughly. Your duty is not just to protect us physically, but to anticipate danger before it reaches us." Aaron nodded. "I understand, Princess. I will do my best." Kalira tilted her head curiously. "Do you know what that means?" she asked. "It means you have to notice everything, everywhere. You have to see what others cannot. Even small details matter." Aaron smiled faintly. "I am ready to learn." They began by walking through the palace corridors. Aaron noticed how the twins moved differently through the space. Alira's steps were precise, almost silent, and she paid attention to every detail. The subtle shadows, the direction of lights, the hum of distant machinery. Kalira moved more freely, her eyes catching every unusual detail, every small motion. Together they were a team, complementing each other's strengths. Aaron followed closely, noting every sound and movement. The palace was enormous, with many levels, secret passages, and rooms he did not yet understand. He realized that even if he were physically strong, knowledge of the palace would be as important as combat skill. After some time, Alira stopped at a balcony overlooking the lower city. The view was breathtaking. Buildings shimmered with soft light, and flying vehicles moved through the air silently, leaving trails that glowed faintly. "Observe," Alira said. "Even in beauty there can be danger. There are people below who watch the palace for opportunities. You must learn to notice them before they act." Aaron looked carefully, scanning the city below. He saw merchants, citizens, and patrols, but he also noticed a small group of cloaked figures lingering near a transport hub. Something about their movement seemed off. "Lieutenant," Alira said, "what do you see?" Aaron pointed. "Those 3 figures near the hub. Their movements are deliberate, not casual. They seem to be watching something. Or someone." Kalira's eyes brightened. "Good. You are already noticing things." "That is the first step," Alira nodded. "Observation is just the start. Anticipation comes next. You must predict what they might do and how we can respond before danger reaches us." They moved on, descending into the lower halls of the palace. Aaron began to see the subtle ways the twins interacted with their environment. Alira would touch a panel lightly, scanning for security breaches. Kalira would test doors and corridors, noting any weaknesses or unusual sounds. Together, they taught him to think like a guardian, not just a soldier. Later, they reached the training arena, a large open space where they practiced physical exercises. Kalira immediately challenged Aaron to spar with her. She moved quickly, faster than he had expected. Her reflexes sharp and unpredictable. Aaron met her movements with equal focus, blocking and countering, learning to anticipate not just attacks but intentions. Kalira laughed as he adapted, enjoying the challenge. "Not bad, human," she said. "You are quicker than I expected." Aaron smiled faintly. "You are very skilled yourself, Princess." Alira watched silently, her eyes calm but assessing. When the sparring ended, she stepped forward. "Now you will learn another skill. Not all threats are physical. Some are subtle. Words, gestures, and hidden motives can be dangerous. You must recognize them." They moved to a council chamber where several attendants and advisors were gathered. Aaron observed silently as the twins listened to reports and made decisions. He noticed tension among the attendants, slight shifts in posture, and careful choice of words. Some tried to influence the twins, others waited to see how events unfolded. "Do you see the danger here?" Alira asked quietly. Aaron considered. "Yes, some of the advisors are trying to manipulate decisions. Others may act if they feel threatened or ignored." "Correct," Alira said. "A good guardian must know when to intervene and when to remain hidden." "You are learning well." Kalira leaned closer, her glow soft and warm. "You are different from others, human. Most outsiders do not notice these details. Most would fail." Aaron felt a small pride rise within him. "I only want to protect you, Princess. That is my duty." Kalira smiled, her mischievous energy returning. "And you are doing it well. But duty is not enough. You must understand us, our thoughts, our fears. Only then can you truly protect us." Their lessons continued for several hours. Aaron learned to move quietly, to anticipate the twins' needs and to notice subtle threats. Kalira challenged him constantly, keeping him alert, while Alira guided him patiently, helping him see the larger picture. As the day ended, they returned to the palace garden, a floating space filled with glowing plants and soft lights. Aaron felt a strange calm here, as if the garden itself encouraged reflection. "You have done well today," Alira said. "You are learning quickly. But remember, the world outside is not always predictable. Danger can come in forms we cannot see or hear." Kalira stepped closer, her markings glowing softly. "We trust you more than you realize, Aaron. And trust is rare for us. Remember that." Aaron nodded. "I understand, Princess. I will not betray that trust." For a while they walked together in silence, watching the twin suns set. The soft glow reflected off the plants, casting patterns on the ground. Aaron thought about his life on Earth, the battles he had fought, the missions he had completed. Nothing had prepared him for this, yet he felt a strange sense of purpose here. As darkness settled, Alira spoke softly. "Tomorrow you will accompany us outside the palace. The city can be dangerous, and we wish to see it ourselves. You will be responsible for our safety." Aaron's eyes widened slightly. "Outside the palace?" he asked. "Do you mean among the citizens?" "Yes," Kalira replied, smiling. "It will be interesting to see how you handle real situations. Not all threats come from within walls." Aaron felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. He had trained for combat, for strategy, for survival, but walking among an alien population, protecting two royal figures who were unaccustomed to being outside their palace, would be a true test. That night, Aaron reviewed everything he had learned. He memorized the layout of the palace, the habits of the twins, and the details he had noticed among the attendants and city streets. He understood that this assignment would demand not just skill, but constant awareness and careful judgment. Early the next morning, he joined the twins as they prepared for their first journey outside the palace walls. Alira wore a simple robe that concealed her rank, while Kalira chose brighter colors, her markings glowing faintly under the sunlight. Aaron noticed how even simple garments changed their appearance, making them more approachable yet still noticeable. As they stepped outside, Aaron felt the breeze and the warmth of the twin suns. Citizens moved about the streets, some pausing to look at the newcomers. Aaron's eyes scanned continuously, alert for anything unusual. Alira walked calmly, noting faces and gestures, while Kalira moved with curiosity, touching objects and asking questions about the city. "Stay close," Aaron said quietly. "I will watch for anyone who might try to harm you." Kalira glanced at him, her glow brightening. "I know you will. I feel it." They walked through the streets for hours, observing, asking questions, and blending in as much as possible. Aaron noticed subtle signs of tension among some groups of citizens, small gestures that indicated fear or anger. He realized that the city itself had layers of politics and hidden dangers, and the twins' safety depended on his constant vigilance. By the end of the day, Aaron felt both exhausted and exhilarated. He had protected the twins, guided them, and learned more about their world in a few hours than he had expected. The sisters, in turn, seemed to appreciate his efforts more deeply than he had realized. As they returned to the palace, Kalira spoke softly. "You are not just a guard, Aaron. You are part of us now. We trust you completely." Aaron felt a warmth spread through him. "Thank you, Princess. I will not fail you." Alira placed a hand on his shoulder. "We know, but trust is earned each day. Tomorrow you will face another test." Aaron nodded, understanding that his journey had only begun. Protecting the twins was no longer just about duty. It was about trust, loyalty, and becoming part of their world, a world filled with beauty, danger, and endless challenges. As he lay in his quarters that night, Aaron thought about the twins in the palace, about the city and the hidden dangers, and about his own role. He understood that this assignment would change him, not just as a soldier, but as a human being in a world far beyond Earth. And for the first time, he wondered if he might not only survive this assignment but truly belong among the stars. Aaron woke before dawn, the soft light of Lirith Prime's twin suns just beginning to touch the horizon. His shoulder still ached slightly from sparring with Kalira yesterday, but the real worry in his mind was the palace itself. Yesterday, as they walked through the city, he had noticed subtle tensions among the people and strange glances directed at the twins. Something felt off. Not danger from the streets, Aaron could handle that, but something closer, something inside the palace walls. As he entered the main hall for the morning briefing, he saw the twins waiting. Alira's posture was calm, her eyes scanning every corner of the room. Kalira's movements were energetic, but her eyes flickered with alertness. Aaron noticed that the palace felt different in the early morning. The shadows were longer and the soft hum of machinery carried an unusual resonance. "Lieutenant," Alira said, her voice quiet but firm, "today you will begin learning about palace politics. Not every threat comes with weapons. Some are silent. Some wear the faces of friends." Aaron nodded. "I understand, Princess. I will pay close attention." Kalira tilted her head, her bright eyes curious. "It is tricky," she said. "Some people pretend to be loyal, but they are not. You have to notice it before it is too late." Alira led him through the corridors to a room where several attendants and advisors had gathered. Aaron noted their formal postures and careful gestures. Alira introduced him briefly, and he observed quietly as the meeting began. The attendants spoke politely, discussing upcoming ceremonies and palace maintenance, but Aaron noticed undercurrents of tension. Certain voices were slightly sharper than necessary. Eyes flicked toward the twins and then quickly away. Small gestures betrayed impatience and unease. Alira leaned close to Aaron. "Do you notice it?" she asked quietly. "Yes," he whispered. "Some are nervous. Some seem to hide something. There are subtle signs of fear. Or maybe intent." "Good," she said. "You will need to understand this if you are to protect us fully. Watch, listen, and remember, it is often the quietest whispers that lead to the most danger." After the meeting, the twins led Aaron to a quiet balcony overlooking the palace gardens. The twin suns had climbed higher, casting warm light across the glowing plants and fountains. Kalira leaned over the railing, watching the movement below. "We must be careful," she said softly. "I feel tension in the palace. There are people who watch us, not just the city. They do not speak openly, but I can sense it." Aaron frowned. "Do you think it is a threat to your safety?" Kalira shook her head. "Not yet, but if we are not careful, it could become one." Alira placed a hand on her sister's shoulder. "We will handle it carefully. Lieutenant, we trust you to observe and report. If danger arises, you will act immediately." Aaron nodded. "I will not fail you, Princess." Later that day, Aaron accompanied the twins as they walked through less traveled parts of the palace. He observed every detail: doors, corridors, shadows, and the movements of attendants. Kalira moved with curiosity, touching surfaces, peering into rooms, and asking questions about the palace's history. Aaron realized that she was not just playful, she was alert, testing the palace environment for weaknesses, practicing awareness in ways he could barely keep up with. Alira was more formal, taking careful note of faces, gestures, and words. She asked subtle questions to test loyalty, gauging how attendants reacted. Aaron marveled at her skill. It was like watching a general in battle, quietly reading the battlefield while remaining calm and composed. As they returned to the main hall, Aaron noticed a subtle shift in the air. One of the senior attendants, a man named Lauren, lingered near the doorway. His eyes followed the twins with too much interest, and Aaron felt a prickling sense of caution. He did not speak, but he made a mental note. During lunch, the twins and Aaron sat quietly in a private chamber. Kalira picked at her food, her glow pulsing slightly with curiosity. Alira studied the room, noting the arrangement of chairs, doors, and windows. "Lauren is watching," Alira said quietly to Aaron. "Do not let him know you have noticed. Some threats reveal themselves only when they believe you are unaware." Aaron nodded, his senses alert. "I understand. I will watch carefully." Kalira's eyes sparkled. "You are different from others, human. Most guards only react when something happens. You notice before it does. That is what makes you useful and rare." Aaron felt a small sense of pride but pushed it aside. "Pride could be dangerous here. I only want to protect you, Princess. That is all that matters." The afternoon brought more challenges. The twins requested a tour of the palace archives, a place filled with records, reports, and sensitive information. Aaron followed closely, observing the attendants who guided them. He noticed small signs of hesitation, people glancing at documents they were not supposed to see, subtle gestures of fear. Kalira whispered, "Some of them know more than they admit. We must be careful. If anyone learns we are observing, it could cause problems." Alira added, "We must gather information discreetly. The palace is a maze of knowledge and power. Anyone with ill intent can hide behind walls and smiles." Aaron felt a chill run down his spine. He had faced enemies in battle, but this was different. This was invisible danger, hidden behind polite words and controlled expressions. Later, they returned to the balcony for a moment of quiet. The twin suns had begun to lower, casting long shadows across the palace. Aaron felt a strange calm here, a momentary peace before the storm. "Lieutenant," Alira said softly, "you have proven yourself useful. Not just strong, but observant, patient, and careful. That is rare among humans. We rely on you," Kalira added, her glow pulsing gently. "And you are learning our ways quickly. Soon, you will be part of our inner circle. Not just a guard, but someone we trust completely." Aaron felt a warmth in his chest. He had never felt this kind of trust before, not from anyone. "I will do everything I can to deserve it, Princess." As night fell, the palace grew quiet. Aaron patrolled the corridors, keeping his senses sharp. He noticed shadows moving where they shouldn't, heard whispers of voices carried on the wind, and felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him. Protecting the twins was no longer just a matter of physical defense. It was about reading situations, noticing hidden motives, and staying one step ahead of threats no one else could see. Suddenly, a faint sound caught his attention. A soft click, almost like a door being unlocked silently. Aaron froze, listening. The corridor ahead was empty, but he felt the presence of someone else. Moving carefully, he approached, keeping his hand near his weapon. A figure stepped from the shadows, a palace attendant, cloaked and cautious. Aaron did not speak immediately. The attendant froze, eyes wide as they met Aaron's. "Lieutenant," the figure whispered, "you must be careful. There are those in the palace who do not wish well for the princesses. Some are planning in secret. You must watch." Aaron's heart raced. "Who?" he asked quietly. The attendant shook their head. "I cannot say. They would know I spoke. But be alert. Not everything is as it seems." Aaron nodded. "Thank you. I will watch carefully." The figure slipped back into the shadows, leaving Aaron alone. He felt a renewed sense of urgency. The twins were in more danger than he had realized. It was not just external threats. There were dangers within the palace itself, hidden behind polite smiles and formal gestures. The next day, Aaron observed the twins as they attended a formal council meeting. Advisors and attendants filled the room, all speaking politely and carefully. Aaron noticed subtle signals, hands brushing against concealed devices, slight pauses before responses, eyes darting toward hidden exits. He realized that some of the palace staff were not simply loyal attendants, they were observers, spies or potential threats. During the meeting, Kalira leaned slightly toward him and whispered, "Do you see it?" Aaron nodded. "Yes, Lauren and several others are watching more than they should. Their movements are deliberate." Kalira smiled faintly. "Good. You are learning fast. That is why we trust you," Alira added softly. "Keep observing, Aaron. Report anything unusual. Do not let them know you suspect them. That is the first rule of palace protection. Discretion is as important as skill." Aaron understood. The palace was a living web of observation and subtle danger. To protect the twins, he would need not just strength and skill, but patience, attention, and careful judgment. That night, he patrolled again, moving silently through corridors and shadowed halls. He observed the attendants, noting every glance and gesture. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also a strange pride. He was becoming more than just a guard. He was part of a team, part of a world that few humans could even imagine. As he rested in his quarters, Aaron realized that the twins had changed him already. They had taught him awareness, patience, and the importance of trust. And in turn, he had begun to understand their world. A palace filled with beauty, danger, and subtle politics. He did not yet know who might betray them or when danger would strike. But he understood one thing clearly. He would do whatever it took to protect Princess Alira and Princess Kalira, no matter the cost. And in that understanding, he felt a connection growing, a bond that went beyond duty, reaching into loyalty, trust, and perhaps something even deeper. The twin suns of Lirith Prime set again, painting the palace in gold and violet light. Aaron watched from the balcony, alert. The morning on Lirith Prime began quietly, but Aaron sensed an unusual tension in the air. The palace felt different today, subtly heavier, as if it held its breath. He had learned to trust these feelings, and now, more than ever, he felt the weight of his responsibility. Something was about to happen, and it was up to him to protect Princess Alira and Princess Kalira. He joined the twins in the training chamber, but neither seemed their usual calm selves. Alira's eyes were sharp, scanning the hall with precision, while Kalira's glow flickered slightly, betraying her unease. "Lieutenant," Alira said quietly, "today you will be tested in ways you cannot predict. You have learned observation and anticipation. Now you will learn action under pressure." Aaron nodded. "I understand, Princess. I am ready." Kalira's smile was tight, her usual playful energy subdued. "We have felt it," she said softly. "Someone is planning something. Not far from us, perhaps inside the palace. Be prepared." Aaron's mind raced. He had noticed tension before, subtle movements and secretive glances, but now the warning felt more urgent. "I will stay alert," he said firmly. The day began like any other. The twins attended formal meetings, and Aaron observed every movement in the palace, noting attendants' actions, gestures, and expressions. Nothing seemed unusual at first, but then he noticed Lauren again, the same attendant he had felt wary of. Lauren's movements were careful, deliberate, but his eyes lingered too long on the twins during their council meeting. Aaron's hand rested on his weapon, though he did not move. He had learned to stay calm, to observe first and act only when necessary. Later, the twins requested a walk through the palace gardens. Aaron followed closely, eyes scanning shadows and entrances. The gardens were usually peaceful, with glowing plants and floating fountains, but today the air felt thick with anticipation. Kalira touched a glowing flower and then paused. "Lieutenant," she whispered, "do you hear that?" Aaron tilted his head. Faint footsteps echoed from a side corridor, not in rhythm with any normal patrol. He nodded subtly. "Yes, someone is coming. Stay close to me." The twins flanked him as he moved silently toward the source of the sound. A figure emerged from the shadows, a cloaked individual moving quickly but carefully. Aaron raised his voice calmly. "Stop right there. Show your hands." The figure froze, and a glimmer of a weapon appeared beneath the cloak. In a split second, Aaron reacted. He lunged forward, blocking the weapon's swing and knocking it aside. The figure stumbled, surprised by Aaron's speed and skill. Kalira stepped forward, her markings pulsing bright blue as she moved instinctively to protect her sister. Alira stayed calm, assessing the situation, her eyes sharp and calculating. Aaron subdued the intruder with careful precision, using a combination of strength and technique he had practiced for years. The figure fell to the ground unarmed but still dangerous. Aaron kept a watchful hand on the weapon, ready for any sudden movement. "Who sent you?" Aaron demanded, his voice low but firm. The intruder did not speak. Instead, he reached into his cloak again, this time for a small device. Aaron reacted instantly, knocking it away before it could activate. Sparks flew and a faint alarm echoed through the gardens. Aaron pushed the intruder to the ground, restraining him until palace guards arrived. Kalira's glow dimmed slightly as she approached Aaron. "You are incredible," she said softly. "You saved us." Aaron nodded, keeping his focus on the intruder. "Stay behind me. I need to secure this area." Alira stepped forward, her eyes sharp. "Good work, Aaron, but this is only the beginning. Someone planned this carefully. We must find out who and why." The palace council convened quickly after the incident. Aaron observed silently as Alira and Kalira spoke, maintaining composure while subtle questions revealed hidden tensions among the attendants. Some looked nervous, others avoided eye contact, and a few whispered quietly among themselves. Aaron felt the weight of responsibility settle more heavily on his shoulders. Protecting the twins was no longer just about observation. It was about action, decision-making, and rapid response. Every moment could be critical. That evening, Alira called Aaron to her private chamber. "Lieutenant, we have identified several possible conspirators," she said quietly. "They are within the palace, close to us. We cannot confront them openly. We must act carefully." Aaron nodded. "I understand. What do you need me to do?" "You will stay close to us at all times," Alira replied. "Observe, protect. Intervene only when necessary. Trust your instincts, they have proven correct before." Kalira entered the room, her eyes bright but focused. "And Aaron, be ready for anything. We may have to move quickly. You may have to make choices alone." Aaron swallowed hard but nodded. He understood the gravity of the situation. The palace was no longer safe and danger was close, hidden behind familiar faces and polite manners. The next day, Aaron accompanied the twins through more parts of the palace, this time including areas that were usually restricted. He noticed subtle clues, doors slightly ajar, shadows moving in unusual patterns, and attendants lingering in places they should not be. He quietly signaled the twins when he noticed something, and they adjusted their movements, staying alert while maintaining calm appearances. Suddenly, alarms blared from the main hall. Aaron reacted immediately, guiding the twins to a safe area and scanning the corridors for threats. The palace guards were already mobilized, but Aaron noticed a group of cloaked figures attempting to breach a side entrance. Without hesitation, he moved to intercept, positioning himself between the intruders and the twins. The first figure lunged with a concealed weapon, but Aaron blocked it with a swift, practiced motion. He used his body to shield the twins, pushing them behind him as he engaged the attackers. Kalira moved instinctively, using her energy pulses to stagger one intruder, while Alira directed guards and attendants, maintaining calm and order. Aaron fought with precision and focus, keeping the twins safe while subduing the attackers. The palace guards arrived soon after, helping him restrain the intruders. Aaron's heart raced, but he maintained composure, understanding that the twins' safety was paramount. After the attack, the twins and Aaron retreated to a secure chamber. Kalira sat down, breathing heavily, her markings dimming as she recovered. Alira remained standing, her gaze steady. "You acted well," Alira said quietly, her voice calm but firm. "You protected us and neutralized the threat quickly. Your training and instincts are exceptional." Kalira leaned slightly against Aaron, her voice soft. "I do not know what we would have done without you. You are not just a guard. You are part of us now." Aaron felt a warmth in his chest, but he pushed it aside. There was no time for pride. "We are not safe yet," he said quietly. "We need to understand who is behind this and what they want." Alira nodded. "Agreed, we will investigate quietly. Lieutenant, you will continue to observe, protect, and report. We trust you completely." The Palace Council convened again, this time under more urgent circumstances. Aaron observed carefully, noting every gesture, every hesitation, and every word. Some attendants were clearly nervous, others avoided eye contact, and a few whispered quietly among themselves. Aaron began to form a list of possible suspects, noting patterns and behaviors that indicated hidden motives. Over the next several days, Aaron worked closely with the twins, patrolling corridors, monitoring suspicious movements, and preparing for any potential threats. Each night he reviewed every detail of the palace and city, ensuring that nothing was overlooked. He learned to anticipate danger, not just react to it, and the twins' trust in him grew with each passing hour. One evening, as Aaron patrolled near the palace perimeter, he noticed a shadow moving along a hidden corridor. He followed quietly, discovering a secret meeting of attendants whispering about the recent attack. They did not notice him at first, but he observed carefully, noting names, faces, and motives. Returning to the twins, Aaron reported his findings. Alira and Kalira listened intently, their expressions serious. "You have done well," Alira said. "Your observation has uncovered key information. We can now act carefully without exposing ourselves unnecessarily." Kalira smiled faintly. "You are more than just a guard, Aaron. You are our protector, our confidant, and soon, someone we can rely on completely." Aaron felt a sense of purpose stronger than ever. Protecting the twins was no longer just a duty. It was a responsibility he would carry with his life. He understood the palace, the dangers within it, and the trust the twins placed in him. As night fell over Lirith Prime, Aaron stood on the balcony, watching the city below. The palace had been threatened, but he had acted quickly, protected the twins, and uncovered hidden plots. He knew the danger was not over, but he also knew he was ready to face it alongside Alira and Kalira. The twin suns had set, casting soft light over the palace, but Aaron's vigilance did not waver. The palace was alive with secrets, and he was now a part of its inner workings. He had learned that threats could come from any direction, and sometimes the most dangerous enemies were the ones who hid behind smiles and polite words. And as he watched the stars begin to appear in the sky, Aaron understood that his journey was far from over. He would continue to protect the twin sisters, face hidden dangers, and become a trusted member of their inner circle. The palace had tested him. The palace was quiet in the early hours of the morning, but Aaron felt the same tension that had become familiar over the past days. The recent attack had shaken the palace staff, and whispers of hidden threats continued to ripple through the halls. Yet despite the quiet, Aaron knew danger could come at any moment. He had learned to trust his instincts, and they were alert now, sharper than ever. He joined Princess Alira and Princess Kalyra in the training chamber. The twins were calm but focused. Kalyra's glow pulsed softly, showing a quiet anticipation while Alira's eyes scanned the room with precision. "Today we'll test everything you have learned, Lieutenant," Alira said quietly. "You have observed, anticipated, and acted. Now you must protect us while we face the greatest challenge yet." Aaron nodded. "I am ready, Princess." "I will not fail you," Kalyra smiled faintly. "We have seen your skill and your loyalty, Aaron. But now you will see how it all comes together. You must be fast, calm, and clever. The palace and the twins' safety depend on you completely." The warning was clear. Something major was about to happen. Aaron's heart beat faster, but he kept his composure. He had trained, observed, and grown over the past days, and now he was ready. The palace alarms rang suddenly, echoing through the halls. Aaron moved instantly, positioning himself between the twins and the nearest corridor. "Stay close," he commanded. "I will handle this." A group of cloaked intruders appeared, moving quickly but cautiously. Aaron counted 5 at first, but more emerged from hidden doors. They were skilled, trained, and armed. His body tensed as he positioned himself in front of the twins, ready to act. Kalyra's glow flared bright blue, her energy pulses strong and sudden. She moved instinctively to protect Alira, while Alira remained calm, assessing the attackers and signaling guards with subtle gestures. Aaron reacted without hesitation. He blocked the first intruder's weapon, knocked it aside, and disarmed him with precision. The second lunged from the side, but Aaron twisted and used the intruder's momentum to throw him to the ground. He moved like a trained machine, each action deliberate, keeping the twins safe while neutralizing attackers one by one. Kalyra's energy pulses staggered 2 more attackers, forcing them back while Aaron finished subduing another. The palace guards arrived just in time to help contain the remaining intruders, but Aaron's focus never wavered. His training, observation, and experience all combined in this moment, protecting the twins from harm. After the fight, the intruders were restrained and moved to secure holding areas. Aaron checked the twins carefully, ensuring neither had been harmed. Kalyra's glow dimmed slightly as she exhaled, clearly shaken but unharmed. Alira's calm remained, though a subtle tension in her shoulders betrayed her concern. "You acted perfectly," Alira said quietly, her voice calm but firm. "You protected us and stopped them before anyone could be hurt. You are truly part of our inner circle now." Kalyra stepped closer to Aaron, her energy glow flickering with warmth. "I do not know what we would have done without you. You are not just our guard. You are more than that. You are part of us, and we trust you completely." Aaron felt a wave of pride and relief, but he pushed it aside. Pride was dangerous. He remained alert, watching the palace corridors for any signs of further threats. "I only did my duty, princesses," he said softly. "I will continue to protect you no matter what happens." The palace council convened immediately after the attack. Alira and Kalyra addressed the attendants and advisors with calm authority, while Aaron observed closely. He noticed which attendants were loyal, which were nervous, and which tried to hide information. With the evidence from the intruders, the council was able to identify conspirators and reveal hidden plots that threatened the twins' safety. Aaron realized that protecting the twins was not just about combat. It was about understanding the palace, reading people, and predicting danger before it struck. He had learned this quickly, and now his skills were fully tested. That evening, Aaron accompanied the twins to the palace garden. The glowing plants and floating fountains created a serene atmosphere, but the tension from the day's events still lingered. "You have proven yourself, Aaron," Alira said, her voice quiet. "Not just in skill, but in judgment, patience, and loyalty. You have become more than a protector. You are part of our inner circle, someone we can rely on completely." Kalyra's glow pulsed softly, brightening as she added, "And not just because you are skilled. You care. You notice details, understand situations, and make the right choices. That is why we trust you." Aaron felt a warmth in his chest. He had trained for years, faced countless dangers, and yet this feeling of trust and belonging was new to him. "Thank you, princesses. I will continue to do everything I can to protect you." The next few days were filled with planning and preparation. The palace staff and guards were reorganized to prevent future attacks. Aaron worked closely with the twins, helping them understand security measures, observing potential threats, and training for any scenario that could arise. He had become more than just a guard. He was a mentor, advisor, and companion in addition to protector. One afternoon, Kalira approached Aaron while he reviewed the palace layouts. "Do you ever feel strange here?" she asked softly. "Like we are always being watched even when we are safe?" Aaron looked at her. "Yes. The palace has many secrets, and there are always people with motives we cannot fully understand. But that is why we are careful, and that is why we trust each other." Kalira smiled faintly. "I am glad we can trust you, Aaron, more than anyone else." Alira joined them, her calm presence reassuring. "You are part of our circle now, Aaron. That means more than you realize. You are not just protecting us physically. You are part of our lives, our decisions, and our safety in every way." Aaron felt the weight of her words, but also a sense of pride. He had come a long way from the first day he arrived at the palace, unsure of what his assignment would be. Now he was part of something greater, a bond of trust, loyalty, and courage that connected him to the twins and to this palace. Days passed and peace returned to the palace. Aaron continued to patrol, observe, and train with the twins, strengthening their bond and readiness. The palace staff grew more cautious, knowing that Aaron was vigilant and that the twins were alert and capable. One evening, the twins invited Aaron to the palace balcony. The twin suns were setting, casting a golden glow over the city below. The palace was calm, the danger subdued, and for the first time Aaron felt a moment of true peace. "You have done well, Aaron," Alira said softly. "You have proven your loyalty, skill, and judgment. You are more than a guard. You are part of us, and we trust you completely." Kalira's glow pulsed warmly as she added, "And we want you to know you belong here with us, not just as our protector, but as part of our lives." Aaron felt a surge of gratitude and pride. "Thank you, princesses. I have never felt such trust before. I will continue to protect you and remain part of your circle." The three of them stood together, watching the twin suns set over Lirith Prime. The palace had been threatened, conspiracies uncovered, and danger faced. Yet through it all they had relied on each other, built trust, and formed a bond stronger than any weapon or guard. Aaron realized that this was more than duty. It was loyalty, friendship, and belonging. He had come from Earth as a soldier, uncertain of his place in the galaxy. Now he was part of a world far beyond his imagination, a world where he mattered, where his skills, courage, and heart were valued. As darkness fell and the palace lights glowed softly, Aaron understood the truth. He was no longer just a human among aliens. He was part of their inner circle, a trusted companion and protector, and a vital presence in the lives of Princess Alira and Princess Kalira. The palace had tested him, danger had challenged him, and he had proven himself. But more importantly, he had found belonging, trust, and purpose among beings far different from himself, yet connected to him in ways deeper than words. And as the stars began to shine over Lirith Prime, Aaron knew that he would continue to protect the twins, face any threats, and remain loyal, brave, and vigilant. He was no longer alone in the galaxy. He was part of a family, part of a bond, and part of a world where trust and loyalty were stronger than any danger that might come their way. The twin suns had set, and the palace was at peace. But Aaron knew that this peace was fragile, that threats could arise again, and that his duty was ongoing. Yet he was ready, strengthened by trust, skill, and the bond he shared with Alira and Kalira. He stood on the balcony, the cool evening air brushing his face, and watched the stars twinkle above. The palace was quiet, the city below safe, and for the first time, Aaron felt the full meaning of his journey. He had become more than a soldier. He had become a protector, a friend, and part of a family that spanned the stars. And in that moment, he knew one thing for certain. No matter what challenges came, he would stand by Princess Alira and Princess Kalira, loyal, brave, and unyielding, a human in a world of wonders, a guardian in a palace of stars, and a member of a circle that trusted him completely.